and then you have depreciation. Okay, what was the depreciation that was transferred, with which we had calculated here? It is 263,000. We have to add it. So 263,000 you will just add to this. Then you will also add any depreciation charges, add any costs, expenses. This is the expense, so add any costs or the expenses incurred, and you will have to less the profit. You will have to less the profit on any sale of the non-current assets, profit generated. So that's the profit you need, that will represent the operating cash flow before the working capital changes. So we have to add back any loss on the sale of assets. Let's see on 30th April, on 30th April 2022, whether the loss or profit has happened. So for this, on 30th April, 30th April, let's calculate the profit or loss. If the cost is less, so how will you calculate whether it is a profit or loss on sale of non-current assets? Your cost has to be, if it is a profit, your cost is going to be less than depreciation plus the value you received. But if the cost is more than the depreciation charges plus the cost or the check you received, it is going to be a loss. So now first one will see cost is this much, cost, that is equal to cost minus of, you will include depreciation, the total accumulated depreciation, depreciation charges, plus the check received, the value received, the when you sold, the value of the or the cost received. It was sold for 31,000, the check received or the cash received. So that is going to be equal to, the cost is 648,000 minus of, depreciation till date was 265,000 plus 311,000. This was the check received. So that is going to be equal to 648,000. 648,000 minus of, what is this value? This is 265. 265,000 plus 311,000, that is 576. So you can see 576,000. Still the cost is more. So which means that you have generated a loss. So 648 minus 576, that is equal to 72,000. So you have generated a loss of 72,000. This is a loss since this has turned into a loss, because why? Cost is still greater than depreciation plus the check received, or the value of money you received. So that's why it is a loss. Now any loss or expenses I will have to add back. So I added back the depreciation, which is a cost. Now the loss has happened of about 72,000. So this you will add. Then now let's see for the transaction whether it was a profit or a loss on 31st May 2022. So 30th May 2022, whether the profit or the loss has happened, we have to check. Now again all the things, okay, are going to be the same. Let's copy this and just let's replace here. So on the 31st May 2022, 31st May 2022, whether the cost, okay, has whether the cost has turned into cost minus depreciation plus the check received is going to be equal to the profit or loss. Now the cost, we know it is 999,000. Okay, cost we know it is 99,000 minus the depreciation. We had already calculated in the previous one. The depreciation for this was 219,000. Okay, we had already calculated here. It is in the previous question it was 219,000. So that's the depreciation you will enter, 1,000 plus the check received. So it was sold for 935,000. So that is going to be equal to 999,000. Okay, 999,000 minus of 219. Okay, 219 plus 935. So that is going to be equal to, let's calculate the value, 219,000 plus 935. So 1154. So 1154,000. So which means this value has become greater than my cost and I have been able to get the profit. So that is equal to minus of, okay, so that is equal to so that is equal to 11. So it is equal to 11155. Okay, so depreciation charges are this much, and so you will get 155 minus 155,000. Now this is a profit. This is a profit. Why? Because cost has become less than your depreciation charges, your total accumulated depreciation, okay, plus the check received. This is how you will always calculate whether you have incurred a profit or a loss. So I will have to less the profit received, so less 155,000. So now we can calculate what is the operating cash flow before the working capital changes. Okay, that value is going to be equal to 448,000 plus 263,000. Okay, then plus 72,000 minus 155,000. So that is equal to 628,000. So this value is 628,000. Now let's calculate the difference in inventories. Okay, so 1445. So here it is the difference. Okay, increase in inventory we have to subtract. So 1445 minus 1563,000. So that value is going to be equal to 118,000. So 118,000 increase. So but we have to subtract it. So 118,000. The next one is trade receivables. Okay, trade receivables 910,000. So 910,000 minus this one. Okay, it has decreased. So you will have to add up. What is the decreased amount? 910,000 minus 874,000. So that is going to be equal to 36,000. So that value is 36,000. And then you have decrease in trade payables 747,000. Okay, 747,000 minus of 713,000. So that value is going to be equal to 34,000 decrease. So I will have to subtract in this case. So 34,000. Now, okay, let's calculate the cash generated from the operating activities. Okay, so 628,000 minus 118,000 plus 36,000 minus 34,000, that is equal to 512,000. So that is 512,000. Now we have to subtract the interest that was paid. Okay, the total interest that was paid was 25 plus 11. So let's write it here. It was, okay, the total interest was 11,000 plus 25,000. So that I have to subtract. So 36,000 was the total which I have to subtract. 36,000. Okay, and then we have the less tax paid. Okay, so less the tax paid was 305,000. So 305,000. So you subtract these two, okay, from the cash generated from operating activities. So 512 minus 512,000 minus 36,000 minus 305,000, that is 171,000. So 171,000. This is the net cash from the operating activities.